Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Krys and here we talk about business, candle making, and how to boss up. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about some candle business launch tips, some things I wish I knew when I first launched. And y'all know I'm working on my relaunch right now, so I thought I'd share these things with you. So let's get into it. So the first thing that I'm going to say off bat is start with what you have and let what you have lead you to where you want to be. I don't know how many times I've gotten so caught up in my own thoughts about how perfect I want something to be or how great I think this could be if I just change this. And then I just keep finding things that I could make better. And then I end up with nothing. And I don't want you guys to fall in that category. You know, I know there's a lot of testing, there's a lot involved with candle making, but there are some things that we could speed up along on the process. And I know that it's hard sometimes when you're working on your baby and you just want everything to be perfect. But I feel like sometimes progress is better than perfection. And you know, everything that I'm about to say in this video, you can take it with a grain of salt. It's not law, but these are some things that, you know, I have realized that have hurt me in the past. And I don't want you guys to get caught up in this, you know, this rabbit hole of perfection. So just keep in mind, like, figure out what is worth the perfection. What is actually, you know, I live by. What is the story of your business? Is this helping or not with your story? Is this helping to carry out your story? And sometimes it does. I think things like labels and scents and names, you know, those are the products of your company. Those are what people see. Those are what people remember you by. Of course, those things help with your story and carrying out your business. There are other things that, you know, we spend a lot of time on that we actually don't have to spend a lot of time on. So if it doesn't have to do with building our story, if it doesn't have to do with testing, and if it's really not adding value to our product or our brand, you know, we can avoid some things and we can speed some things along. So think about those things when you're doing your launch and thinking about things that may be holding you back from really seeing the finish line, because we see in the finish line, we finishing, we launching, and we relaunching. Number 2, build an audience before you launch. And you know, this can be difficult for some people. I understand that, but I feel like it's important to build a customer base before you start with the product. You know, you ever met somebody, you walk into a phone store, and then the person that's trying to sell you the phone is just very sales pitchy, and you're like, hey, I just came to look. But there's the other salesperson that you'll walk into a store and they're just strike up normal conversation with you, and then they end up talking you into buying some shit you didn't come in there for. You don't want to be the person that sells you. You want to be the person that's actually a person and not a robot and just trying to sell you something. And so I always talk about your story. What's your story? How is your business aligned with your story? Your story is where engaging your audience is really going to come into play. I feel, you know, these are all feelings of mine. These are not law, but just some suggestions. You know, make a Facebook group. Honestly, you'd be surprised how many people who are looking for small businesses on Facebook. And if you have a unique brand, a unique approach to candle making, or can really sell your story, that's all marketing is. It's who can tell the best story, the most compelling story that makes people want to buy from them. And you can't ignore the fact that although, you know, your blood, sweat, and tears and your baby in this business is a baby to you, but it's also a real life business that's gonna make you real life money, and you just start this not to make money. So let's make some money. Engaging in an audience, building Facebook groups, and really recognizing where your target is. And I've said this in so many videos. Behind the scenes stuff, you building your company from the ground up, it really enriches your business's story. And depending on the approach that you take with your candles, and depending on how you are positioning yourself to be able to sell and connect with people, you can use that to your advantage on social media, because social media is just that. It's social. It's where you're able to explain these things. And maybe I have a different perspective because I'm a writer first. So I look at everything from the sense of storytelling and how to convey a message through language. But language is so important. Images, visuals, things people can connect with. You'd be so surprised how how many people can connect with just words. You know, I've made people cry with just them reading something or hearing me speak something. And so I don't take that lightly when it comes to my business. And I'm just trying to put y'all on a little bit of game. Just trying to put y'all on a little bit of game that your story is just as important as your product. All right, so the third thing that I'm going to talk about is goes hand in hand with 2. Don't wait until you launch to post on social media. I'm going to repeat that. Don't wait until you launch to post on social media. You should be posting well beyond your launch date. I say you shouldn't wait to post on social media until you launch because there's so much that goes into building a business that is so much more than just an image of the finished product. And you're losing so much content by just ignoring that and thinking that it's just a part of the process. But people love to see things built from the ground up. I said this in one of my last videos, like people love watching someone's story being built and feeling like they can also be a part of that story. And let me just pit stop here. When you're making your candles, these are everyday people. And if you're able to engage them in a way that is relatable to them, you know, they can see a part of themselves in you building this. And all that goes into making this. And of course, you don't have to show them the everyday life and struggles of you crying over your testing and you trying to find the right fragrances, but you can bring them in a little bit to say, hey, should we add this scent, you guys? Or, hey, what do you like? What kind of scents do you like? Or even having polls, seeing what people even like. If you choose to turn your personal Instagram into your business Instagram, really and finding creative ways to engage people. If y'all want some ideas, I can make a video on that. If not, I don't know. You know, I'm just super creative sometimes. I can give y'all some chance every now and then. But just really figuring out ways to really engage with the people that are following you or that you want to follow you. And figuring out creative ways to involve other things that you like. Like if you like yoga and you making candles, figure out a way to incorporate your yoga with your candles so that people will see real live action and can see how their candles fit into their lifestyles. Because candles are part of people's lifestyles. People love to set a mood and people use candles for so many things. Help them paint that picture. I don't want that to be lost in the sauce either. So I just want to remind y'all of the creative ways that you can use to engage people. It doesn't just have to be a picture of your candle and that's it. It doesn't just have to be a picture of your candle and all of these things. People want to know the story. What is the story of this? If they're going to follow you, what are they actually following? Because I don't know about y'all. I don't want to just see candles. If I'm going to follow, like, I don't want to just see, not even just candles. I just don't want to just see a product. Like, if I'm following a designer or if I'm following a person, I'm following them because, oh, they inspire me. Like, they're posting content that actually inspires me and makes me want to follow them. Not just because I like this brand. Not just because, like, that's just me though. Everybody different. That's just me though. So my approach to thinking about creative ways to engage my social media, it's like, how am I inspiring someone else? Like, and isn't that marketing? You know, like, isn't that marketing allowing people to see a piece of themselves in the product that you share? So I'm gonna think about that and we're gonna move on. All right, So this one is something that I personally wish I would have known or even just been in the headspace to be able to process when I first launched. Something that I'm like, I'm ahead of the game now because, you know, I feel like I failed already. But, you know, we're going to keep on pushing. Is prepare for the worst and hope for the best, you know. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Hope for the best, you know, anyways. But yes, like, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And what I say when I mean that is like, prepare. Do everything that you can to prepare to make sure everything in your control, handled Hands down. You got that, you did that, box this, box that, candle this, candle that, candle this. You know, you have it under wraps. You have it, but also give yourself grace. Give yourself grace for hiccups. Give yourself grace to not have things figured out. Give yourself grace for shipping delays. Give yourself grace for this person can't arrive broken. And I say this because, like, yes, when we're launching, we're so excited, head in the clouds, first business, second business, whatever business this is for you. You're just so excited to have created something and have seen it to, I'm gonna say, the start line, because when you launch, baby, that ain't the finish. That's when things start really rolling. That's when you really gotta start figuring things out. But when you really see something to the start line and you're like, okay, I actually did this. Like, you just kind of, maybe, I don't know if it was just me, but you're just head in the clouds. You're just excited. You're like, oh my God, this is my first business. This is that. But, you know, some grace. Leave yourself some grace for some hiccups, some things not to work out, something is happening with your website. Take a deep breath. Just give yourself room for the deep breath, for the phone calls. I don't know about y'all, but when I launched, I had a gang of phone calls from people that it's just like, oh, let me just get that. I don't want to go through your website. Let me just. No, I'm sorry, ma'am. Go to the website. Stay strong. Hold your ground. Like, I don't know about y'all, but, you know, it's getting personal anyways. But give yourself some grace to really, really have room for error. And when I say room for error, not to beat yourself up about it, but to know that things can go wrong and that's okay, and that happens, and it's not the end of the world. But just remember that, like, hey, like, some things are just out of your control, and all you can do is be responsible for the things that you have control over, and making sure that everything's aligned, baby. Everything's worked out. All the candles is made. All of the boxes are ready to be packaged. We have tape. We have boxes. We have thank you cards. We have candles. We have products. That's all you can worry about. But also keep in mind that some things may be out of your control that you may not have thought of, and that is okay too. So prepare for everything that you can control, but also don't beat yourself up about things that you don't have control over. All right, so the last tip that I'm gonna give is something we've all probably thought about, second guessed, worried about, and it is pick a price point that you're comfortable with. A price point that you and you only are comfortable with. Not a price point your mama think you should make. Not a price point your best friend say, you should know what a price is. Not a price point your brother is like, yo, your girl's too high, because they're not your audience. They're not your target audience, and they wasn't with you shooting in the gym. They wasn't with you when you was testing, so they don't know how stressful that is. They wasn't with you when everything was sold out and you couldn't get no wicks. They wasn't with you when you figured out how to make candles and then everything that you need was out of stock, so you had to figure it out all over again. They weren't with you, so they don't know how much you should be charging for your products. And if they're not willing to pay the price that you set for your products, that is fine. It's not personal. You're just not my customer. You're just not it. You're just not it. And I need to go find where my customer is, because the money is out there to be made. Let's not sleep. There's millions and billions and trillions of people who got the coin. And we're trying to find them. And we're trying to find our target audience based on what we offer for our products. So don't sell yourself short. I know it may get hard. I know you may second guess yourself. I know you may wonder if your prices are too high, and they may. Who knows? I don't know what your price point is, and I don't know what you did to get that price point. And if you want me to break down how I got my price point on my candles, I will. Just leave me a comment and I'll make that video. But what I am saying is, if you feel strongly about your price point and how much you're selling your product for, honey, it's probably worth that, because you had to work for that. And that's that. That's that. If people are fighting you about how much they think you should be charging for something, that's on them. That's not on you at all. Period. That's on them. That's on their wallets. That's on Bank of America. I'm sorry. But truly and honestly, like, that has nothing to do with you. And I know it may, it may affect you and it may make you question your product and your business and if you did this right or if it is too expensive. But I have seen $300 candles and people are buying them. They are. I have seen $1,000 socks and people are buying them. Hell, people are selling $1,500 masks. People are buying them. It's about us. It's about the value that we hold for our product that will carry on its legacy. And it's about the pride that we have for what we created that is really going to sustain it. And our confidence in what we made is what's going to sell that product. Like anything else, like Gucci, Louis, any product, whatever it is, like they have to believe in themselves and you have to believe in what you made and that you will not bend and you will not fold because you know what it took for you to make this and you know what you feel like it's worth. If you felt like it was worth $500, then sell it for $500. It don't matter. Like it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Just stay in your lane, stay focused, and know why you're doing it. Know why you're doing it and know your why and know your story and stand firm in that. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. I hope these tips helped. And yes, coming from a relauncher, some things I wish I would have taken advice on and really learned. I really learned from my mistakes. I'm still learning and I'm going to share my mistakes with y'all. So we out here. We out here. And so I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
You told me I could trust you, don't lie. I could really use it. Everybody need love, even niggas like me. You told me I could trust.